Do you keep wondering why obedience feels so heavy, yet you know there's nothing wrong with your faith? Maybe it's your mind that's panicking and it's not your spirit. Hey, beautiful friend, welcome to Fearless and Worthy Woman, Walking Boldly in Your Calling. I'm your host, Alexandria Daugherty, and this is where faith meets real life. Around here, we believe in who God says we are, obey His calling, lead with confidence, and do the work faithfully because you were never meant to play small with the gifts He's given you. Before we go any further, make sure you grab your free permission to pause lock screens in the description. We are continuing our Obey series today, and this one really is important because we're talking about the moment that obedience runs headfirst into the old stories that your mind still believes. So grab your coffee, open your heart, and let's get into it. Let me tell you something that still catches me off guard. Whenever I post something vulnerable online, something real, something from the heart, something that God maybe is nudging me to say, I get this big wave of panic in my chest. And if you were here with me yesterday, you heard me say this. It's not because I feel like strangers are going to judge me, but instead I can already hear the whispers from the people who knew me years ago. The ones who never breathed a belief into me, the ones who made me feel small before I even had a chance to grow. And it's wild how fast those old voices can still show up out of nowhere. I can be doing exactly what God asked me to do, speaking the truth, sharing my story, being obedient, and within seconds, my mind is like, nope, delete it. Who do you think you are that you can post this now? People are going to think that you're trying too hard. They're going to say that you are wanting attention. It's like I have this filing cabinet in my brain and it pulls out the file folder from my childhood and it says, like, here, this right here is the reaction you should expect. And for the longest time, I thought that something was wrong with my faith because that fear would kick in so fast. But what I am learning is that it's not that my spirit is panicking. It's not my faith that is shaky. Instead, it's my mind. Because that version of me that grew up being told that she wasn't enough, she still lives inside of me. And sometimes she sneaks out. And anytime that my obedience requires that vulnerability, she starts to flinch. She gets nervous. But the truth through all of that is every time that I leave that post up, every time I refuse to delete it because I'm scared or out of fear, out of that fear of judgment, every time I say, you know what, God, I'm trusting you, this is yours, something inside me gets just a little bit stronger. And that right now is what obedience looks like for me. It's not about being perfect. It's not perfection at all. And it's not that my confidence never gets super shaky, because it definitely does. But it's choosing to not run from those moments, not to run from the things that God is already asking me to show up for. So why does our mind react like that? Your brain predicts the future based on the past. Even if the past wasn't true or wasn't fair or wasn't healthy. It's called predictive coding. This simply means that your brain is trying to keep you safe by assuming whatever it was that hurt you before might hurt you again. So if you grew up being criticized, then your brain's going to predict criticism. If you were overlooked, then your brain is going to predict that rejection. If maybe vulnerability was once dangerous for you, then your brain predicts danger, even if that threat is no longer there or isn't even real. This is not just a conscious thing that's happening. It's not that you are choosing it. It's your brain literally doing what it was trained to do. And that's to protect you from the hurt that it still remembers, that is hardwired into you. So when God calls you to share your story or to step into alignment with whatever that calling looks like for you, to tell your truth, to set those boundaries, to use your voice. Your spirit recognizes his voice, and you can hear his voice maybe, but then your brain kicks into overtime and pulls up those old predictions. And that is why that obedience can feel like such a battle sometimes. It's not that you're wrestling with God, but instead you're wrestling with that fear that your mind has really memorized. But through all of that, like always, there's hope for you because predictive patterns can change. Every time that you show up and decide to obey anyway, every time that you take that step, whatever that step looks like, every time you do the thing scared, then your brain gets new evidence. It gets that evidence that says, you know what, this didn't destroy me. I am safe here. This is different. This feels different. I can trust this path. You see, obedience is so much more than just this spiritual act. It's really shifting everything neurologically. Your spirit hears God, and your brain learns safety through repetition. And that's where that faith and that science meets each other, not as rivals, but going hand in hand as a part of your healing. Psalm 32:8 says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. This isn't God just shouting instructions at you from a distance. He is right there beside you, walking hand in hand with you. He's not frustrated that your mind panics because he already knows the parts of you that is still really shaky and scared. He doesn't just tell you to figure it out. He does say, I'll show you. I will walk with you. I am right here, right beside you. That obedience is not supposed to be done alone. And of course, this leads us to our faith step of the day. I encourage you to take a moment and write this down or just think about it for a moment. God, help me follow what you said, not what my past tries to predict. Then choose one simple act of obedience that you've been hesitating on. Maybe it's like me and you just leave up that vulnerable post. Maybe it's speaking about your faith or sharing it with somebody. Maybe it's finishing something he asked you to start. Maybe it's sending that message you've been meaning to send, or praying, or making that phone call that you've been putting off. Don't overthink it. Just take one step. Your brain needs that evidence that it's okay to do it. And your spirit and your faith needs that freedom to know that it's okay. I hope today's episode helped you understand that tug of war happening inside of you. Ladies, your faith is not weak. All right, you are just teaching your mind that it's okay and that it just needs a new way to feel safe. So keep taking those small steps. Keep trusting that God is walking every step with you, and keep letting him lead you one yes at a time. If this spoke to your heart, share it with a friend who needs it. And make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss your faith step of the day. And before you go, make sure you grab your free Truth Exchange worksheet. You will find the links in the description below. Until next time, remember, you are worthy, you are loved, and you are called, empowering you always.